Welcome to Chaotically Nerdy, a podcast made by nerds for nerds. Chaotically Nerdy is a podcast made by adults, meant for adults, and for children with bad parents. Adult language will be used. Adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised. Today's episode, the first episode?
It's possible.
We are going to talk about Marvel. The Marvel movies. We're going to talk about Phase 1. I feel like it's important to note that there are some notes made by the other two. It's I didn't do my homework. I feel like we should also introduce ourselves, considering this is give a short one. I'm Tyler.
I'm Jarrett.
I'm Ethan.
So now that you know who we are and you won't remember our voices, now we're going to talk a lot.
Yep.
Phase 1. Let's just talk about what movies are in Phase 1. And then we're going to kind of rank them and we're going to discuss it and probably yell at each other because I feel like we're going to get into some arguments.
A little bit.
Phase 1's very uncontroversial, I think.
I feel like it's going to be a little more controversial than you think. So let's talk about which movies there are.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the order they came out in as well.
Mm-hmm.
It came out Iron Man. That came out in 2008. The Incredible Hulk. For some reason, I thought Incredible Hulk came out before Iron Man, but I guess it didn't.
Incredible Hulk came out like 5 weeks after Iron Man.
Really?
Yep.
Did not know that. Disclaimer, have never seen that particular Incredible Hulk.
Probably for the best.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
It's going to be the last one.
Oh, yeah, that's where I was going to rank it anyway, because it was not good enough for me to watch it, so I figured it was bad.
It's
and
entirely forgettable.
then we have Iron Man 2 in 2010. We've got Thor, which came out in 2011. Captain America, the First Avenger, which came out like 2 months after Thor. Is that right?
Yeah, something this summer.
And then Avengers in 2012. And that's Phase 1. So let's start. Ethan, why don't you give us your rankings?
My rankings?
Yeah.
I have reasons. Do you want reasons or do you want just ranking?
Let's just go just rankings
Just
right
ranking
now,
real
and
quick? Yeah.
we'll circle
We'll
back.
interrogate you later.
All right, so you went from worst to best, I'm assuming. Worst to best?
Yes, because every BuzzFeed article does actually start that way.
That's
You
true.
start at
That's what I'm
10
saying.
and
That's
then
what
have
I'm saying. I
to
just
have
wanna
to
make
pass
sure
the
you're
15
not trying
ads.
to be special.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't have notes, so
So my 6th place is The Incredible Hulk. 5th is Thor. 4 is Iron Man 2. 3 is Iron Man. 2 is Captain America. And 1 is Avengers. Yeah,
I was wrong.
Yeah, Jared gave me a look.
It was a look of surprise.
Because I hate
Captain America. And
Yeah.
you put it second.
Yeah, it's not him that saves that movie.
Peggy.
Red Skull.
Is he red?
Both.
Both. All right, so Jarrett, why don't you tell us yours? Because I'm still looking like which one
He's
goes
still
here.
trying to rank his, folks.
Yep.
It's Jared's going next because he doesn't have notes.
Yeah.
No notes.
Mine
Unprepared.
is very similar to Ethan. It goes Hulk, it goes Thor, it goes Iron Man 2, except I have Captain America 3rd. I think Iron Man 1 is one of my favorite movies. I can watch it. It has a really 3rd act, but most of these movies do, outside of Avengers. And then Avengers. It's not even...
Avengers has to be one. I think it's one on everybody's. It was the first time that we seen all of those characters together.
It's hard not to. It's like the first of its kind.
Yeah, and at that point, DC hadn't really done anything where they added a bunch of people, and DC live action movies
never
are kind
had a crossover, really.
exactly.
They've never had a good movie.
Oh, god damn.
I mean, what's to argue here? So,
Fair enough.
It was the first movie that I ever had the standing ovation in the middle of the movie.
agreed. Agreed.
When did...
During the circle shot, the big team up shot in New York.
Oh, yeah.
After that happened, I was in the theater. People stood up and clapped.
People are weird in theaters. Let's talk about that. I fucking hate theaters nowadays.
I mean, like,
It's
I take people's
it's hit.
seats, but only if they're pissing me off. I will get up, move behind them, and kick them until they shut up or die.
Okay, so I've scratched mine down,
Yeah.
and I have.
He does mean scratch. He
I really do. I have terrible handwriting, which is why I didn't write any notes. That's what we're gonna go with. It's not that you all.
7?
Yes, I ranked
There's
one.
only 6.
I ranked one completely off the list.
Oh.
So I got Incredible Hulk at 6, obviously because I haven't seen it.
Wait, what'd you rank it 7?
I didn't rank it at 7. He was being a smartass.
I was expecting it to be Hulk at 7.
So, what was it?
Incredible Hulk, obviously, but I feel like that's not really a fair judgment of me having never seen it.
It's 100% fair.
Okay. And then I've got Iron Man 2 at 5. I just don't care for
There's
the
one,
Iron Man.
There's
series.
one thing that saves that movie, and his name is Sam Rockwell.
And then I have Captain America at 4. It was that Iron Man's at 3 for me because because he kicks it off. I don't like Iron Man as a character. I don't know why.
You have Thor too?
Yes, I do, but
What the fuck is wrong with you?
you blew your speaker out, by the way.
Yeah. All right.
I have Thor at 2 because I love Thor as a character. It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie.
It's not. It's just personal preference. That's my favorite Marvel character. It's a bias. This is an opinion piece. This is not a factual ranking. You leave me be. So, what could they have done? I feel like I'm being hardcore judged right now.
You're so angry.
No, it was that.
So angry.
It was that. It was putting his pencil down.
Oh, did it pick up?
No, you're
I have no notes. What do you want from me? It has the
You were like,
so. Let's go through and see what we think they could have done differently on the movies, and we'll just start at Iron Man.
have a better third act. Obadiah Stane as Ironmonger is not a good climax to the movie. Kind of drags, in my opinion. And I love the movie.
Which you love Iron Man.
Yes,
Would you say he's your favorite Marvel character?
it's tied.
Between
Him and Cap.
understandable. I think the Cap love comes later.
It does.
Like,
although you go back and you watch after you watch the whole arc, man, there's some really good stuff in this first movie.
you're talking about Captain America.
Yes, in First Avenger, there's a lot of good stuff.
Oh,
in
yeah.
that I'm like, oh, it resonates.
When I seen it in theaters, I really enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't one of those things that I walked out and was like, man, that's a bad movie. But at the time, I didn't know a whole lot about comic book characters in general.
Here's what
I knew more DC
most people did.
because I watched animated series that DC put out, their movies that they would put out that was animated. And I think that's, which now we're kind of sidetracking, but I feel like DC excels in the animated area over Marvel. I've not seen,
100% fair.
yeah, I've seen some good Marvel animated shows, but none that have been like, oh, I absolutely can't wait to see more of this.
But like Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's some really good Batman animated shows. Young Justice is good.
It's still good.
Getting back on track, though.
Yes. Getting back on track. What would you change about Iron Man?
It's hard to say looking back like that. I don't really think like I would change very much. Mostly because I'm looking at it from like the point of view of like when it came out. What else was really like that? There wasn't really a lot like it. I mean, we had like
Maybe the X-Men movies that were
maybe
similar.
the X-Men, like the first one.
Yeah, like a big climactic battle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't really have anything like that, and you had like it was like a roller coaster of like emotions on it too. Because like
Also-
you start out with them being all like, you know,
In the X-Men movies, we talk about, Marvel didn't really have a huge team up. X-Men is a large team up.
They've always been.
It just felt weird. I felt like we didn't know anything about any of the characters in the X-Men movies.
Oh.
Like, if you didn't know about the X-Men characters, you just watched a movie and you were like, okay, this guy shoots laser beams out of his eyes.
why is
okay.
Gandalf so mad?
That wasn't out yet.
No, it wasn't. You're right. But still, he was Gandalf already, technically. So.
They were shooting it when
Yeah.
it came out.
But
Tangent
like,
aside.
I mean, I wouldn't change a lot, but like
Yeah. Now we look back at the
not
Marvel.
looking back, and it's not up to the standards, but
But it's easy to look
still
back. And,
really good.
and things should improve as we go. Like, so it makes sense that it wouldn't be up to the
They
standards.
should. They really don't until the end of this phase. Consider you go from Iron Man's the first and Cap.
Well, I meant more like they improve along the lines of like phases.
Yeah.
They get better overall.
It's
I would say phase 2 overall is probably better than phase 1.
oh yeah,
Yeah, probably.
Because I can look at phase 2 and see 4 movies, 5-ish, but again, bias with Thor,
it's
that I like.
it's really hard to critique Iron Man when the Incredible Hulk is next, though.
Yeah.
Yes. I haven't seen it, so I can't critique it.
Having not seen that movie in 3 years, I barely remember the plot.
I mean, I have one word next to my notes for the Incredible Hulk, and it's yeah,
That's a good note. I'll give you that.
yeah.
So my Iron Man, what I would change is most of these movies. My issue is it feels like pacing.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes a long time to get anywhere in movies, and it seems like nowadays it's much faster, and I enjoy it much more. I enjoy the movie pretty well the whole way out.
Yeah, they had not yet developed that quick breakneck pace that Marvel movies have developed. Probably since like
Roughly Avengers, but then they slowed down in Iron Man 3 and Thor.
I would say like Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the
when,
Winter
like,
Soldier is where all of them.
post,
Yeah.
it's probably pretty. It's very quippy. It's very funny for the most part. You got
I mean,
Either way, we'll talk about that one in another podcast.
you start out with a little bit in Iron Man of that what we now expect of from
Yes.
Marvel humor, but
laid the groundwork.
it's not.
Laid the groundwork, but it's not pushing it.
Yeah,
It's
they
kind of
could-
just
they
They
could have
developed
done
yet.
more.
It's still just a baby.
they tried to play it safe
Yeah.
so that they didn't overbear people, basically.
Well, they didn't know where they were going yet, to be honest.
All right. So, Incredible Hulk, I think we would all just change the whole movie.
I would just go back in time and recast Mark Ruffalo just to make it,
Like more canon.
yeah.
There's a lot wrong with that movie.
Honestly, the
boring.
only I remember watching whatever Hulk. There's been like 3, hasn't there?
Now there's been 2 movies.
2, is it only 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Ang Lee Hulk with Eric Bana.
Yes. I remember.
2003.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only Hulk movie I've seen.
probably worse.
It's not probably worse. It's the most definitely worse.
I haven't seen that movie in 19 years.
All right.
So I
I don't
was,
think I have either. to be
I
honest.
was,
I think
10.
I've seen it just like when it comes on TV, and I just leave it on there for background noise.
Note for Incredible Hulk. I've never been an Incredible Hulk fan until Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, he makes it
Yeah.
charming. Do you know what he fights in Ang Lee Hulk? It's a smoke monster. At least in this, we get an actual
Monster.
monster thing he can fight.
He fights Abomination.
Abomination,
yeah.
That's what I thought.
So,
Which is basically just bad Hulk.
Gray Hulk,
Yeah.
essentially.
yeah.
Um,
I didn't dislike the fight scene, but it is a lot of pieces of cars and buildings getting.
It's
smashed
also,
into
from
one
what I remember,
another,
it's
so.
pretty
dark. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to.
it's like a dark, like
It's kind of hard to pick out what's
dark
happening.
atmosphere.
And I like Liv Tyler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Liv
She's
Tyler. She's fine. Most of the rest of the cast is fine, but I guess compared to Mark Ruffalo, it just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
It's just
And it's hard to look back on movies like that,
well-
especially whenever they already didn't meet your expectations.
Yeah.
And you go to look back on it and you're like, man, this is even worse than I remember because of how good stuff is today.
Man,
So-
we sound old.
We do sound old.
Yeah,
I mean, we are old. You're over 30. That's not old, but
thank you. But, yes.
fucking
and
boomer.
we're both fucking boomer.
Imagine mine. Yeah, it's not.
Actually,
It's
not
actually,
that
we're
old,
all
Jerry.
technically millennials, and
Yeah, we
people
are.
will still blame us for shit that kids
Fucking-
in high school are doing.
Zoomers will call us boomers.
Yeah. And fucking boomers will call
Gen
the
Z
Gen Zers.
millennials,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're like, God damn millennials and their fucking cars.
They're electric cars that don't use oil, so my stocks aren't rising like they should. And
All right, so Iron Man 2. What are we changing?
I
I feel like Jarrett should start this because
Yeah, go ahead.
mean, it's mostly fine. It's just what's his name? The Whiplash guy. I should
Mickey
know.
Rourke?
Mickey Rourke. I should know this because he was in The Wrestler. I should really know that. But he's not that compelling of a villain, to be honest.
Fair.
I didn't feel like, I mean, I knew there was a villain, but when you watch it, it's like, is there one?
The guy that sticks out in that movie is Sam Rockwell. Everybody wants Justin Hammer to come back, and he is. So, that's I guess I would make him more of the main villain. Get more out of him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I'm fine with Don Cheadle replacing Terrence Howard because Don Cheadle's way fucking funnier.
That's true.
Although we don't really get to see that until later, but he is way funnier.
Yeah. Anything you change?
Yeah, I felt like Iron Man 2 was like, it was too much good story packed into too small of a space.
Too little time.
Because they have like the whole military interference with Stark Industries. They have like the arc reactor health issues in there. They've got Stark's drinking problems. They've got Rhodey stepping up to be War Machine.
Is 2 where he announces he's Iron Man, or was that
No,
1?
That's the end of 1.
That's the end of 1? Okay. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember.
And like they did, I just don't think they did enough with Justin Hammer and Ivan, and I think they could have done that a lot better because that was, as far as I know, that was a much bigger part of like the comic book story for Iron Man. So
Well, yeah. Hammer is like his nemesis mostly in the comics because he starts all the Armor War stuff, which is the show he's going to be in.
yeah,
So
I also don't like Mickey Rourke. So ever.
he's fine.
Love-hate relationship. Like, I don't mind him, but I'm also not like, I want to see him in everything.
Right. But it also like introduces like, I don't know, Black Widow.
Black Widow.
It does introduce Black
Fury.
Widow. Yep. It introduces some very...
He's in the end of 1.
I'm not including like that.
No,
That's
no.
just.
Are you talking about post-credits?
Yep.
Yeah.
I wouldn't include post credit. He's the first movie he's
Sure,
actually
fair.
in.
The movie he'll be credited in.
Yeah,
I'll
but
give you
I
that.
don't think they even like introduced them, so you don't even know who they really are.
In this movie?
In Iron Man 2,
Did they not introduce?
especially Black Widow.
Well, no, you're not.
Oh, yeah. There's no, like...
Yeah.
They don't call
They're
her
just a
Black Widow.
character. I mean, it's also
I
this...
think they call her Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah,
Or just
you do
Romanoff.
get introduced to Romanoff and Fury, so it's like
Yeah, you get introduced to them, you just don't know who they are.
there's a lot of interesting things they did with it, but none of it had enough time devoted to it.
And if Marvel does that thing, or did that thing early on, where they didn't introduce characters,
Well,
like they would just add them unless they were major characters like Cap, Thor. It was just
Well, that was the
this
big,
is a character.
That was the big deal about Iron Man 1. The end, the post-credit scene, they alluded to the Avengers,
Yes,
and that's what freaked everybody the fuck out.
because they were like, "Are we going to get an Avengers?" And everybody takes everything and runs with it. And I mean, they were right.
Yeah.
We did
We
get
did.
one.
I'll be honest, all the way through, did never think it was going to happen. Did not think we were ever going to get it.
I think everybody kind of thought that in the back of their minds, they thought this is too big to succeed.
Yeah,
True.
all the way up.
Yeah.
I remember having watched all 5 of those movies and being waiting for Avengers to come out and being like, "There's no way this can be good. It's impossible.
Yeah,
It's too much."
there's too much going on. There's no way it can succeed because there's so much going on. People are, and I mean, a lot of us probably thought, or I thought at least, like they're not going to get people to agree on contracts for it because they're going to have to pay them less, and to get that many big names, and they're not going to, like everybody's not going to do that.
So what would you change about Iron Man 2?
Again, Iron Man's not my favorite, so
Yeah.
I just, like I said, it's second to last for me. I don't know that if I would change anything, but to make it better as far as that, because I don't know what I would change in the aspect of comic book Iron Man. And that's the thing. I like to see the comic book versions of them come alive. And my wife hates me because we'll watch a movie and I'm like, oh yeah. And I said, did you see that? Did you see that? Because it'll be something from the comics that they just throw in there. And she's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm like, I don't care. I'm watching this for the sexy bodies and that's it.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, Go for it.
We'll get to it later. But I got some.
It's to the point though that she is,
There's some bicep shots that have to be mentioned.
of course. He's talking about
There's two.
See, we were thinking totally. I was thinking of like Scarlett Johansson. You're thinking about, like Chris Evans.
No, yeah. But listen,
Look, I appreciate the hard work he
I
put
mean,
in.
not that there's anything wrong with that, Jared, but I mean, like,
It's
we're
very-
pretty good friends here, and I don't know this about you. This is interesting.
it's very clear that they have some female fan service
Oh yeah.
/ gay fan service.
Thor 2. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of it.
There is a
think-
lot.
I haven't. Okay.
It's a lot.
There's a lot where he's wearing some fucking medium shirts and he's
Wearing
out
like a
in the rain.
loincloth and like washing himself in oil.
I don't remember that.
I do.
Whoa.
Whoa. Let's
Hold
roll
on
that
a
back. You remember that real well, huh?
Yeah.
You know the timestamp and everything?
Yeah, we all know who the best Chris is. Okay.
I'm going to have to agree with that one. But again, biased.
Have you seen Knives Out? He's fucking amazing in Knives Out.
I have not seen Knives Out.
Evans is awesome.
Evans is, I would say, God. All right, so now we're on a ranking the Chris part of this show.
Should we do another episode later on about Chris's?
They're all tied.
Yeah.
They're all tied. Pratt is amazing as Andy Dwyer in Parks and Rec.
Oh my
That's
God.
what gets everybody to love him.
It's so good. I love him.
He's so
And so much of that was made up.
Yeah,
It was just,
Oh, yeah.
it was on the spot.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I love, there's a scene where he like jumps over a counter and throws a briefcase.
Oh, you're talking about the blooper, right?
Yeah, and he
Yes.
breaks the fucking lights, and he's like, "That's not something props can fix," because he broke a light switch, and it's so good. And then all right, I'm gonna segue way too long on that.
Yeah.
All right,
I know what you were going to bring up.
I was gonna bring up the Kim Kardashian joke. Everybody loves a good comeback story.
It's a good joke. We should not bring it up right now.
I mean, yeah, I agree. So Thor, what are we changing? I feel like I'll start here. His hair. I don't know what it is about his hair in that movie.
It's not the hair. It's the eyebrows.
It's the bleached
Maybe
eyebrows.
it's the
bleached
eyebrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
he has bleached eyebrows.
Okay, something in it just looks wrong.
That's what it is.
And a lot of people don't like the confusingness that he has going on. That's not even a word, I don't think. But the confusion he has when he's on Earth, it makes sense because he's been to different
Yeah,
realms, but not to Earth.
Has he never been to Earth? I thought he had been to Earth like
in
in
a
the
long time.
yeah. I thought like in like the like Viking times. He was.
Okay.
I had always assumed that they'd all like popped in. That's why the Nords worshipped them. That's what I always thought. Why?
Marvel's weird about that. They just
It's
are
not
kind
explicitly
of
stated.
yeah.
It's
They're
just
kind of
implied.
like the gods exist.
Yeah.
They don't really refer to if people.
We're gonna get into that.
Oh yeah,
eventually.
because I mean we got Norse gods, we've got Egyptian gods that are now in Marvel since
the Greek gods,
are they Greek? I mean I know in the comic books there are.
Love and Thunder.
Oh fuck
It's
yeah,
coming out,
yeah.
Yep.
Forgot all about that.
and he's there. Zeus is in there.
Yep. But hair and a little bit of pacing. It was there was a lot of slow moments.
To me, it's easy. More Hiddleston, more Kat Dennings. I want Hiddleston to chew that scenery all the time.
Yeah,
This is
Hiddleston is a very underrated part.
Yeah. This is
In
easily his worst
Marvel.
performance.
Oh yeah.
Just because they didn't give him enough to do.
I
Exactly.
wouldn't say he's underrated. He's understated.
Yes.
He's not in it enough for my liking, but I understand why.
Yeah, it's because he's a side character,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Anything you can change? I know he said more Hiddleston, more Cat.
I think my notes say Asgard stuff good.
Oh shit, you have notes? I was supposed to make notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, you were
y'all,
supposed to make notes.
y'all didn't tell me that. It's kind of funny how that worked out.
Yeah.
It was on purpose.
My notes say Asgard stuff good, Earth stuff bad.
True.
I agree with that.
I mean, I
Outside of
like Natalie
Another.
Portman.
yeah,
and,
another's good. That's kind of like the main scene.
And them I like them kind of trying to figure out the wormhole thing and stuff like that. But like the rest of it, it's got some good jokes in there with the cup thing, and But other than that, not so good.
too much Earth.
Too much Earth. Yeah, need more Asgard. That's
But you look back, and that's a major part of his story in that movie, is because he loses his powers and has to learn how to be worthy again.
I just want to see,
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
I just want to see Hammer stuff.
Exactly, I agree with that.
What is he?
Give
The
me the
god of
action.
lightning? No, he's the god of hammers. Come on.
God of Hammers.
Captain America.
I'll just say it's too long.
I can agree with that
It's too long.
wholeheartedly. There's a lot that goes
I
on in
love
that
that
movie.
movie. It's too long.
I originally didn't like it.
Not only
A lot of people didn't.
not
'Cause
only
it's-
too long, it's slow.
It's slow.
It's another Nazi movie. I mean, it's what
Look.
it is.
There's a lot of good parts about it, but there's just you could cut an easy 15 minutes off that movie and it's way more enjoyable.
For an intro movie, it is very long.
Yeah. And it doesn't really do.
A whole lot of introduction. I mean, do we need the scenes where he's riding around and dancing on stage?
I mean, it does do a little bit of that World War II propaganda thing.
Yeah, it does. But they could have made it much shorter.
It also, later on,
They could have done a
alludes
poster
to,
of him.
How he was being used
Yeah. It's also an
for
important part.
inappropriate ways instead of letting him do what he was
Made
created
to do. Yeah, I agree with that. But
Punch Nazis in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't want to do that?
But they could have done it differently. Instead of him dancing on stage in a very propaganda way, you could have had a poster of him and him bitching to a commanding officer about it.
It's just
Be like, I meant to do more than this,
It's a little awkward.
more than take pictures and dance on stage. And he could have mentioned it. I feel like that scene's awkward. That's probably my least favorite scene in that movie. Is him dancing around on top.
yeah. There's just they also try to set up way too much. They try and set up Bucky and all of Hydra and Arnim Zola and
I feel like the Hydra thing should have just been not set up. This is Hydra. They're a villain. Go for it.
In general, throughout the MCU, I wanted more Hydra, and they shoved it into so few movies that
I agree with that. I just don't, like Jared said, there was too
then
much
we-
setup for it.
yeah, and then we get it way too much in the other stuff
you mean like Shield.
in Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
It's in there entirely too much.
Oh yeah, it's all about Shield versus Hydra. It's kind of old.
All right. Ethan, did you say yours for what you would change? I know we all kind
Captain
of
America?
we just kind of talked
It's
about
the
it.
same thing. It's pacing.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it was,
But that's mostly phase one to begin with. Is pacing
Yes.
problems. Yeah.
and I feel like that was because there was a lot of trying to build a story, trying to build a world even.
They're trying to build
because
this world out.
they had a plan.
There's a lot of establishment to take care of.
It is
and
obviously work.
that takes time.
Yeah, 5 movies to make the Avengers happen. That's kind of insane if you think about it. Going backwards now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, not as insane as one movie or 2 movies trying to create the Justice League. But,
they barely established Shield by the time Avengers comes out, and you're like, oh, it's Shield.
it's literally
Maybe that's DC's problem. They have terrible pacing. They try to cram too much into.
maybe. That's
Try to-
definitely their problem. They're trying to rush it.
Have you seen any DC movie? Exactly what it is.
Superman didn't feel rushed. Man of Steel, yeah, I see.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's only about him.
That's
I know.
the first one.
And that's
What's the next movie?
it's Batman,
Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
Where we introduce Wonder Woman and cameo Aquaman, and
Aquaman and Flash.
Cyborg.
Yeah.
Then we get one other movie, and then we go to Justice League.
Yeah. So, Avengers. Are we changing anything?
Yeah, looking back, it's also probably too long. There's a bit of the setup in the beginning that I'm like, ugh. It takes a bit too.
I like the pacing in Avengers.
I love it. It's just
I like
looking-
the pacing because it starts off kind of slow and
And builds.
it has a steady build all the way to the end.
Yeah, there's no it's a high and then it goes back down. It's kind
it's
of
not like a lot. I'm just saying, cut. We could probably cut 5 minutes out.
Yeah.
There's probably, and it's not all in the beginning. There's some stuff in the last battle that I'm like, do we need to redo this?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but there's also times where it's unforgettable. Who's ever going to forget the Hulk bouncing Loki around like that?
oh god, that's
Yeah.
such a good scene.
Just Donkey Kong and Marine.
And it just it gets brought up in
Yeah.
later stuff. Like
Yeah.
Ragnarok, whenever he sees him, Loki's just look and everybody remembers that moment.
right. And then, like, for Captain America, like, when he's talking to the police people and telling them what to do and stuff, and then...
It's cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just a proponent. Most movies are too long now.
And Shawarma.
I agree with that. That was extra.
It was.
That was.
That was also filmed like 11 months after they shot it.
Was it really?
The shawarma scene, yeah. That's why I forget which one. Evans or Hemsworth. One of them's not looking at the cameras because they don't have a beard anymore. One of them has. I think it's Hemsworth. He doesn't have a beard anymore.
Gotcha.
I think that was when he was filming Rush or something. I don't remember.
I did not know that was filmed that much later. I also I don't remember where I seen it or heard it or something, but
It was like a
something
month
said
before the
that-
premiere.
Something was said like they all just like got a message like, "Hey, we're gonna go out to eat," and then there was cameras and they were like, "Here you go, put your shit on."
I think we both also did, like, top 5 actor performances.
Just stuff. If we didn't hit on it, like we can hit on it now.
Yeah, let's. Well, I guess I need to bring up what I would change about Avengers,
Yeah.
and I agree. Length it was too long, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the whole way through.
Yeah, for the record, I also enjoy it. I just looking back retroactively from a critical eye, I can say it's probably too long.
Yeah, and when you sit in a theater for movies that are long like that,
Yep.
especially theaters we have because we're from a small town. Now Cape has a good one, but Poplar Bluffs is just blah. It's not a good theater to sit in for multiple hours at a time.
No.
Like an hour-long movie is really about the extent that I can handle.
Cape is nice, though.
Yes, very nice. I took my cousin to see the newest Spider-Man, and he fucking loved it.
That's probably a good idea because that's a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, he loved it. He held his pee so hard because he looked at me and he said, "I have to pee. Will you tell me what I miss?" And I was like, "You're 9. You're not going without me." And he was like, "I'll hold it."
That's a good point.
He did. He just like, "I'll see if I can hold it." He made it to credits, like the first credits, and we booked it. There was 2 end credit scenes.
I'm trying to think what they're. I don't even know if I stayed for them.
One of
I did.
one of them is
Venom.
Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what
Don't
was
care.
the second one?
It's something I forget. It's not important.
Yeah.
It wasn't important.
It was a Morbius trailer, wasn't it? I think it was Morbius trailer. I want to say it was the Morbius trailer. Or no, Doctor Strange. It was the
That's
Doctor
what it
Strange
was,
trailer.
But I watched it literally.
The Morbius trailer came on before the movie. That's why I was. All right, so here we go again with your notes and me having nothing.
Yeah.
I really want to just clarify that
I mean, we really
I was
didn't
not
bring
aware.
up, we didn't really bring up Clark Gregg.
We did.
No.
And he is the through line of this first phase.
Listen, I'm really glad that I have my phone handy.
It's Coulson.
It's Colson Phillips.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. See, because I don't know people.
That's fair.
Like,
But
in-
Clark
Unless
Gregg
they
was,
are-
like, not even a tertiary character.
he's
and-
literally in Iron Man for 2 minutes.
Right.
I don't think he's actually in Incredible Hulk.
But he
isn't,
still
but-
stands out. Every time he's on the screen, he stands out. He's so
He's
good.
the only reason to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, the first bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay. He's the primer. He's why you should watch it.
Never watched it. Not gonna lie.
I don't know if I can recommend it. But
Watch the first half of the first season.
Gotcha.
Done.
he's got to watch The Turn.
Fine.
You have okay.
fine.
So that show
2
takes place
seasons in.
before Winter Soldier.
Okay.
The season is going on after Winter Soldier, like half the or the last 5
Well,
episodes.
okay, so
And
there's-
the Hydra flip happens in the show
Gotcha.
Yeah.
the same week that movie came out.
Gotcha.
It was insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was pretty good to watch
That's-
while it was happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
also,
cool.
it
That's
really
cool.
spoiled that movie if you had not watched. If you like didn't make it opening weekend, and it got spoiled.
And
You're
you
like,
watched the show still, and you were like, "What?"
what? Hydra's in Shield.
All right, actor performances.
Yeah.
Well, I named one. You name one.
Oh, Hugo Weaving just like knocks it out of the park as Red Skull. Like he's just amazing.
Yes, yes.
I'm a little
Very good.
biased. I love Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, he's
so
just
it's
fucking
like
awesome.
it's a given. It's
Yeah.
gonna be good. Yeah.
I would watch a movie that I don't have any interest in watching if he's in it, whether he's a bit part or the main character. Like he's just really good at what he is.
I mean, like everything he's been in.
Yeah.
V for Vendetta.
Yes. You didn't know that?
I'm trying to name another one, but I mean,
He said, "I really love Hugo Weaving."
he played
and I will-
Elrond. He played Smith.
Smith, Agent Smith.
Yeah.
He's really the only reason to watch the last two. Sorry, 2 and 3. Matrix 2 and 3. Can't say the last two anymore because the other one came out.
Yeah. I'd say this is me not having notes and just spitballing. Kat Dennings, she did great.
That's
Yeah,
fair, yeah.
I mean,
Not on my list,
she's a very
but
minor
she's very
character.
funny.
And then whenever she's in WandaVision,
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
Oh yeah.
so it's not like her character was just useless. Not useless. She's not useless because she's in multiple Thor movies, but
Yeah.
it's not like they just did away with her.
Oh, she's always funny.
She's always funny, and they made her
Even
useful.
in Two Broke Girls, I mean, she's great. Yeah.
She carried that show.
Yeah.
The few
hard
episodes
carry.
I've watched, I've been like, you could just put her in there, and that's it.
Yeah. No one else on stage.
And I'd probably watch it.
Running the restaurant. exactly.
She plays every character.
Yeah. I'll say Mark Ruffalo because, like, just thinking back, how many Hulks have we had? Not including Mark Ruffalo.
3? I mean, you saying like at all?
Not including Mark
like
Ruffalo.
Ferrigno,
Yeah.
Ferrigno.
Eric Bana, and
Which, I
Edward
mean,
Norton.
Yeah, Norton.
And he's the best of them all.
Yeah.
Easily.
Easily. And it's totally different than what you expect from
Yeah.
from Bruce Banner. Not just the Hulk, but Bruce Banner.
yeah.
Bruce Banner is the character, whereas
And
like,
he's kind of like, he's very timid.
yeah. But he's also stands toe to toe with RDJ,
Yeah.
like wit wise. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
really
very,
impressive.
very smart and very timid. The timidness probably comes from he's afraid of the Hulk's power.
Oh, he's actually like if you remember watching like all the red carpet stuff afterwards and stuff, he was really timid as a person too.
Yeah.
So that comes through because it was like people had to remind him he was famous.
Yeah.
He-
that was like, he would
Yeah.
come up and like meet people on the red carpet and be like, oh my God. And like,
Oh my God, it's Paul Rudd. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
And
He's
they're like,
just- he's-
you're famous too.
He's great in like everything he's in. He's I'm trying to think. He's in Zodiac. He's great.
The Adam
Yeah,
Project.
He is good in Zodiac.
Is he in the Adam Project?
He is in the Adam
Oh, that's
Project.
right, yeah.
That's a new on Netflix. Ryan Reynolds, Mark Ruffalo.
And the new Percy Jackson.
Speaking of movies with like pacing issues, Zodiac.
Oh, that also doesn't it also have RDJ in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
That's another one that you
Oh.
would probably name Robert
Sure,
Downey Jr.
yeah, yeah.
He is Iron Man,
He
hands
made-
down.
He made the universe. Like
Yeah,
he made it possible.
Yeah.
So,
Is that who you're naming next?
sure.
it's who I named because I stole it from him
Oh.
Okay.
because I knew he would name it, and I have no notes.
I didn't actually wasn't gonna name it, but that's fine.
Oh well, then
I'm
good.
gonna throw out Stanley Tucci as Doctor Erskine. The Doctor in Captain America. He just has like
Okay, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
30
Yes.
minutes he's in that movie. He has some really good quotes.
Listen, it's been a long time since I've seen the majority
That I
of these
love.
movies.
I can't remember the name of the guy who acted as him though. The Tony Stark's dad.
Yes,
In that movie.
In Captain America.
Oh, Dominic Cooper.
Yeah, Dominic Cooper.
yeah,
Yeah,
he did very well.
Man, he was really good.
Yeah. He's also good in Agent Carter for the little bit that he's in it.
Mm-hmm.
He's just really good.
All right.
I'm trying to think if there's any other just really breakout characters, or not breakout, but like just really good side characters.
I mean, we've already talked about Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom Hiddleston.
he's
It's really this like
he's such a good Loki.
yeah.
I have not seen him in much else, but he's such a good Loki.
Scarlett Johansson was good.
Yeah, she does a very good Black Widow, but we don't see very much of her as
Yeah.
Black Widow.
We don't
Unfortunate.
We don't
get
really
more-
see her until Avengers, honestly, right? I
Yeah,
mean, we
sure.
see bits of her in
No,
Iron Man 2,
Iron
but
Man
we
2,
don't
yeah.
see like
It's not
action sequences with
I always-
her.
It's not
or-
fully established.
I
yet.
always think of her as like in Winter Soldier and Age of Ultron, where she like really gets her a lot more screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially Ultron.
Yeah.
Very good.
Let's talk about actors that didn't shine that great. You guys probably don't have notes on this in the movies.
No, we don't.
No, I don't.
Because
Wasted?
as I was sitting here thinking about it, I was like, Natalie Portman. I did not care for her Jane
She
Foster
will
in.
have a chance to redeem herself.
She will have a chance to redeem herself, but Thor 1 and 2 did not
she's-
care about.
I
I
was
thought she was good in 2. I thought she was kind of flat. And
There you go.
I really, really like Natalie Portman.
Oh, I
A
do
lot
too.
of stuff,
I'd like her in a lot of stuff, but it's Thor. It just didn't seem
Yeah, well, I agree. I agree.
genuine, I
Yeah.
guess. But I mean, she's acting. It may have been the way she
Skarsgård
wanted to play the.
was really good though, but at the same time, it's kind of creepy.
That means he's doing a good job because when actors fit their character,
Yeah, he is.
That's just the casting choice. He's still kind of odd.
yeah.
Yeah.
That whole family's just weird.
We mentioned Mickey Rourke.
they're so
Yeah,
there's
they're
it's
terrible. They're
it's
so
so weird and it's so good. I love it.
We did mention Mickey Rourke being bad, right?
It's not.
He's
It's just super bad. I mean,
It's
really
just
bad.
like uninteresting as a villain.
and sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad actors because I mean we know Natalie Portman's a good actor,
Oh yeah.
actress. Well, you feel you look like you're contemplating things,
I'm
but
trying to think
I
of
mean
words.
sometimes it could be writing, it could be the director. The director's not liking the way they're putting something out, and they have to change what they're doing, and then all of a sudden they're not comfortable with the character the way they want it, and we're doing weird things.
I'll just say, like, not used correctly is the Warriors 3.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Like, they-
absolutely. In all of the movies.
Yeah,
That's not
just,
their fault. That's the
No,
that's the writing.
that's the
Exactly.
writing. Like, they just,
Yeah.
they just fucked up.
There's so much that could have went with them that didn't go. Is there any other actors or actresses that
On occasion, I
Jeremy
really,
Renner.
Yeah,
he's a good Hawkeye, but there's so little of him.
that's what I was gonna say.
That's fair. He doesn't really come in until later.
Yeah, it's hard to get attached to Hawkeye
Yeah, I don't.
in that because like he gets taken over by Loki. He shoots up the ship, and then we bring him back, and we're supposed to feel this like, oh my god, I feel so bad for him. He killed tons of his comrades.
That character's a really slow burner throughout in the MCU.
It takes until probably
Oh no,
Civil War.
Ultron probably.
That he gets a lot to do in the second half of Ultron that I like.
Yeah,
It really builds into like Civil War and his return, I guess, and then really obviously until Endgame. Then Endgame and his actual show.
yeah.
Oh god, it's so good.
His show is actually.
Which do we want to talk about what is out for Phase 4 right now? I know we would skip Phase 2 and Phase 3 because I know we're going to try and save those for a different episode. But do we want to just go over it, or we want to wait until a little bit later?
There's a lot. We can't get into Phase 4 right now.
No,
Okay.
No, there's
I
a
think
lot to
we'll-
go through.
post Phase
I feel
3.
like most of Phase 3 is going to be the longest, is why I say
said
that.
post. Yeah, I'm saying post Phase 3 because there's a lot of stuff that I have problems with in Phase 4, and there's a lot.
And
I
we'll talk
like.
about it
There's a lot I
later.
like. There's a lot of problems.
Let's start. Pepper.
Oh,
Pepper
yeah.
Potts.
Yeah.
What's her actual name?
Gwyneth
What-
Paltrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like she's not a.
Don't worry, she doesn't remember what movie she does either. It's my favorite interview
good.
quote where they ask her about when she was in Spider-Man. She's like, I was in a Spider-Man movie. She's like, I thought that was Avengers.
I feel like that could be,
I realize it could happen, but like,
especially if you play minor characters and you're cranking out
she
minor
has just
characters.
been like
That
so detached from like reality. For
Yeah.
so long.
You know, I really like the character. It's another person. I really like the character. I really like the actor. But Samuel L. Jackson, for a lot of times when he's in Phase 1, it's just really flat.
it's really flat and it's very very short.
Very.
It's like-
it's too short.
Well, he's supposed to be like super stoic and
Yes.
Yeah.
And he does that in Avengers though. I feel like he's not that way. I feel like
No,
most of the time he's not
exactly.
flat. He's Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I expected him to pop off with a motherfucker at
I'm
least
glad that
twice.
they brought it up. I mean, they remedied the problem because
That
every
might
time.
be a Joss Whedon thing of him being like he writes really quippy dialogue, so he was like
Fair.
Sam Jackson was like, "Give me some shit, motherfucker."
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably exactly how he said that, honestly. Any other standout good actors that had bad performances in that?
What's his name? Obadiah Stane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name. That's exactly who I was thinking of.
Was he in one?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'll look it up. Give me a second. You'll probably think of it by the time I get there.
I really can't. I've lost it. It's,
Keep thinking. I guess we could just say all
Jeff
of.
Bridges.
Yeah. I had it pulled up as I was getting ready to say Jeff Bridges, and you were like Jeff Bridges.
I knew. I can remember. Yeah. He's.
I guess we could say all of Marvel. Or not. Good God, that's fucking bold of me to say that all of Marvel is bad. All of the Incredible Hulk,
Yeah.
considering that we just all assume.
yeah. What's his the guy who plays the Thinker in it? The other scientist, Timothy Masterson or whatever his name is. He's really good. The guy that helps him at the end and becomes the Thinker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a good actor that just gets wasted on a bit part that we'll probably never see again.
Will be
Right.
forgotten.
Or if it is, it's going to be in a Disney Plus show.
I mean, we're gonna get more into actors, good actors who just didn't get used well.
Yeah.
Which and
And
that's
a lot of other movies because there's some coming out that were.
and there's so many actors that as we get more movies, we get a ton of bigger name actors.
Oh, easy. There's Natalie Dormer's in Captain America 1. That
True.
5-second
True.
part.
Yeah.
It's the girl he kisses
Oh,
in front of Peggy, or the girl kisses him in front of Peggy, and she's like, "What?"
did not remember that.
Yeah,
I guess
because that's people who are like, "How can we ever cast her?"
Well, that's
In the
Peggy
universe.
too. Is like,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I did not get attached to that character at all. Peggy.
I get more attached to it from Steve's side, I think.
Probably.
you get like secondhand attachment,
Yeah.
like Steve's attached to
Like,
it,
I
and you're
feel-
like,
I
oh man,
I
I
feel his
But that's
longing for
later
her.
after he, goes to the future,
Yeah.
In
the movie,
in the
she's-
movie, it's like,
And that's an understandable thing because if you got frozen, sent forward in time, however, and then all of a sudden the one person, the two people, we're going to say Bucky and Peggy,
Yeah.
are the two people that he really, really cared about.
Yeah.
You could say Howard Stark. I wouldn't say that he really cared about him. He just liked him. And that would be a devastating thing. You wake up one day and everybody that you had a close relationship with is gone. And that happens to all of us.
that's fair.
Well, that got
very
dark fast.
touching.
That
It's very
got
touching.
dark fast.
I'm going to cry now.
Don't cry. We're not on video. This is strictly audio. You can't cry. Unless you're going to like sob. It's got to be loud.
No, I'm not going to cry.
I got to hear it in your voice. It's got to be
Can't force
shaky.
myself to cry.
Is there anything else we need to talk about before we wrap this episode up on phase one? I guess here's a good question that we will talk about later. We're going to talk about our top 5 favorite Marvel movies after we wrap up phase 3
Yep.
and finish phase 4, I guess, technically.
Yeah, we got to because one of them's.
Okay. So, is there any in phase 1
Nope.
that you would put? None?
In my top 5 now.
Yeah. What about you, Ethan?
I didn't do a top 10, but Avengers is probably in there.
Top 5?
Yeah, I was just saying top 5.
Top
which
5?
which
No.
is,
No, not top 5.
top
At this
5's,
point,
I
Top
feel like,
10, like Avengers, definitely top 10, but not top 5.
Well,
Yeah.
We're 6, what is it, 12. We're like over 30 movies now, so that's
Yeah.
like the top 30.
and I feel like it may be more controversial whenever we get to top 5, and that's going to be a hard list to pick. I mean, at least for
It
me,
was.
It is.
It
because
was really hard.
the later ones are going to be just,
I didn't
So
do
good.
a top 5 yet. Did you?
I have a top 5,
Oh, I did not.
and
which we got time.
it
so,
was really, really hard to pick it. And I was
I mean, y'all made notes about every movie.
no,
so-
no, I really didn't. I didn't. I just made them like a
I did.
general
Not every
phase.
movie, every phase
Yeah, I
is
mean,
what I meant by that.
Oh, yeah.
I have nothing. So you can figure out your top 5.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
I'll figure it out.
All right. So I guess we're going to wrap up this episode. That was a good, roughly 45 minutes.
It's a little longer than what you were expecting, huh?
no, that's about right.
Is that about right?
Yeah, it's about
45
right.
minutes
It's
an
about
hour.
right. Yeah, we wanted 45 to an hour because that's how
'cause-
long we expect
'cause-
the episodes to go.
Oh, okay.
Because that phase 3 one's going to be really long.
Yeah, that phase 3,
That's going to be a little bit longer.
phase 3, I think we're going to have to like crank through. We're just going to have to speed
bam,
up
bam.
and not vamp as much and get sidetracked because we definitely got sidetracked. But I mean, that's what we do.
Fair.
There was a good DC section there for a minute.
What's the point of talking if you're not just going to follow the conversation?
That's fair enough.
Or throw pins on the table like that?
It didn't throw it. Just,
Thank you.
It probably did pick up though.
Look, yeah, it did. I heard it, so it did.
All right. Oh, God damn it. Now we're just all over the place.
Let's wrap it up.
And we want to thank you guys for listening. We plan on uploading every week. Every week. Yeah, weekly. I think we're going to try for Tuesdays. Listen, they make the same damn thing. Don't sit over there and laugh. If you're going to laugh into the microphone so they know you're making fun of me. But we appreciate you joining us, and we hope you come back and listen to some more.